If a tenant builds a gazebo that increases the value of the rental property, is he entitled to compensation? Would it make a difference if the property owner had no idea? And what if the tenant somehow believed he owned the property on which the gazebo sat? The 2016 case of Ward v. Ward explores these questions in the context of one highly contested log cabin. In 1999, Gary and Susan Ward purchased a log cabin kit to build on Gary's mother Judith's parcel of land. The kit was $50,000, and the couple incurred additional expenses related to erecting and maintaining the cabin. Judith apparently funded the site preparation and construction. Although the parcel was never divided, it started generating two separate property tax bills after the cabin was built because it then contained two separate dwellings. Judith let Gary, Susan, and their children live in the log cabin, and the couple gave Judith money for the entire parcel's property taxes. There was no written agreement memorializing this arrangement. In February of 2014, Gary died. 2 months later, Judith served Susan with a notice to quit, demanding Susan and her children vacate the cabin located on her land. Susan refused, contending she had an interest in the cabin she and her late husband had purchased. Susan also mistakenly believed that Judith gave her and Gary the land on which the cabin was located as an early inheritance. Judith, in turn, filed an action in trial court to evict Susan. She appended to her complaint the land deed in her name, the property tax bills in her name, and a copy of the April notice to quit, then moved for judgment on the pleadings. The court granted her motion, finding Judith was entitled to recover her property from Susan, who had no ownership interest in the land. However, to avoid Judith's unjust enrichment of the improvement made to her property by the log cabin, it also required her to pay Susan $50,000 for the improvement and conditioned Judith's recovery on this payment. Judith appealed to the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia.